Hi, it's Dan with Philosophical Fishing, the channel completely dedicated to benzodiazepine damage and recovery. A while ago, I made a post asking people what were their most troubling symptoms, and quite a few of you responded saying that some of your most troubling symptoms were cognitive issues, and in particular, brain lock and brain freezing. And when your brain has been so damaged by benzos, it's often hard for the brain to just process normal information. And you can go through a situation where you're just talking to somebody and all of a sudden your brain just stops working, or you're just going through your normal daily routine and all of a sudden you just can't think no matter how hard you're trying to. You can't put words together. Thoughts aren't coming to you. You might be grasping for words that are just normal, everyday common words, and you just cannot think of them. And believe it or not, 7.5 years out, and I'm not trying to scare anybody, I still sometimes get this, but in a very, very minor way, nothing like it used to be. But I know how that feels. When I first came off of benzos, my brain was so messed up, and when I was in the treatment center, I was so badly damaged that I could hardly put words together. I really could not have a conversation with anybody, and when my brain would just freeze up and lock, it was so difficult to deal with, and it was so freaking frustrating because I just wanted to be able to express myself. I wanted to be able to talk, and I just could not find the words, and it was really, really hard. So I want you to know that if you're struggling with this, you're not alone. I've been through it. I've been there. And one of my biggest fears when going through it was, is this ever going to get better? And am I ever going to feel okay again? Is my brain, is my cognition ever going to come back? And I'm here to tell you it will. It will come back. You will get better. You'll eventually get to a place where your brain is working again, words are coming to you, thoughts are flowing, creativity is going again, and you feel good. But it's going to take time. So if you've just recently come off of benzos, or if you're going through the process of tapering, just know that there is hope on the other side. You're not out there stranded. This isn't going to be a permanent thing for you, even though it might last for quite a while. Just know that it's going to be okay. So I want you to know that going in the door, it's going to get better. But brain lock and brain freezing is just one of those things that it's so common in benzodiazepine use and benzo damage that most people seem to have it on some level, to a greater or lesser degree. Mine was very significant early on. And in the first 5 to 6 months, I would say it was really, really bad, and it was really, really hard. Particularly when my symptoms came on and they were worse, it seemed like my brain freeze was a lot worse too. It just kind of coincided that whenever my symptoms were revved up, the brain freeze and the brain lock was also much more exacerbated. Some of the most troubling areas for me with brain freeze and brain lock was when I was trying to engage with somebody in conversation, or I had something that I needed to get done, or I needed to explain something, and it was really, really hard just to formulate sentences, to come up with concepts in my head and then relay those concepts to somebody else verbally. And it got really, really frustrating for me because I'm somebody who likes to talk to people, and I like to have conversations, and I like to relate to people. And I had times where that was almost completely impossible. I mean, it got so hard so much of the time that at certain moments, I would just give up and I would just close my mouth. I would be quiet. Sometimes for long periods at a time, I just wouldn't even talk. I would just sit there quietly because I couldn't think. I couldn't put words together. It was so frustrating. It made me angry. It gave me a lot of fear that my brain was permanently damaged and I would never be able to function in normal life again. And so it can be really, really scary when you're dealing with brain lock and brain freeze. And I know because I've had quite a few of you reach out and say that this is a really, really troubling symptom that you're dealing with. And what I can tell you is that it's going to get better. As you go along and as time moves along, you'll start to see that things come back to you. Your emotions start to come back. Words start to come back to you. Feelings, thoughts. These things do start to heal. As the body heals, as the brain heals, as your spirit heals, you will start to get better, and these things will start to come back to you slowly. But I definitely dealt with it for a period of quite a few years, progressively getting better along the way during those few years to where I am now, which is that I rarely ever deal with it. Matter of fact, I don't ever have days like I did early on where I just get complete brain lock and complete brain freeze. I don't have that at all anymore. I just have certain days where I do feel kind of off, and I can feel that some of the damage that's been done to me because of the benzodiazepines starts to kind of manifest itself where I have trouble sometimes grasping for a word here and there. And that's really the extent of it. So I'll take that over where I used to be. And if you're like me, if you're dealing with it right now, just know that it's going to get better. I know it sucks. I know the brain freeze is really, really troubling for a lot of you. And it will just start to get better over time as your symptoms begin to drop off. And as each day goes on and you start to build upon the foundations of the healing that you've experienced, you'll start to get better and better. But it's just going to take time. Our brains are just damaged from the medication that we were taking. And go easy on yourself. Please be gentle with yourself, because it's so easy to get down on ourselves and beat ourselves up when we're going through this and think that we're idiots or we're stupid or, we're never going to be better. And you will get to the other side, of course. And this is just a great time to practice self-compassion and be gentle with yourself and go easy on yourself, because it's not your fault. Your brain is just trying to refire and rewire. And please, guys, just know that I'm living proof. Here I am, and my brain works so much better. I'm telling you, 7 years ago, there was no way I could be making these videos because I just couldn't talk. I couldn't do it. My nervous system was so badly damaged. I couldn't even sit here in a room by myself talking to my camera and make a video. There was just absolutely no way I could even conceive of it. Even the thought of doing something like that would have just scared me, and I wouldn't be able to get the words out, even if I wanted to, because I was having such a hard time, again, putting words together and conveying concepts and ideas into words verbally was just beyond me at the time. So the fact that I'm sitting here today doing this is a testament to the fact that we do heal. If I could go back in time and find a video of myself from 7 years ago trying to talk, you would see it pretty clearly that I was having a really, really hard time and I was really, really struggling. Have compassion. Go easy on yourself. It's going to get better. Breathe, get present, take some deep breaths, feel some love and compassion for yourself, and practice a little bit of gratitude for whatever you're grateful for today. Even if you're having one of those days where your brain just completely stops working and all you can do is sit on the couch and stare at a wall or a TV or something, each day that you go through is another day closer to 100% healing. So I love you guys. As always, I wish you well on your healing journeys.